Hello, hello, hello. I'm here with my skull rock. This is the inverted skull rock. And I want to talk about health in this video. Health and healing. And relaxation. Because relaxation is the foundation for healing. Okay, that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. I remember friends that we had. Paul and I, we were security guards at a storage facility once, and the lady who was running that storage facility was a chain smoker and a gambler. And I told her that she needs to quit smoking, that she needs to relax, that she needs to go to hot springs. And she said, bullshit. I go to the casino to relax. I had to laugh about that. I thought that was hilarious because it is so incredibly adverse. It couldn't be any more adverse, and it's almost dadaistically adverse and bizarre to say something like this. It's very, very strange how someone can say, I go to the casino to relax. Wow. Well, I went to a casino, not really the casino. I went to a casino hotel in Reno, Nevada, with Paul and Samantha, our former dog. And I went in there with my bag of clothes that I was going to be putting on, and I was going all the way up in the elevator to the spa. That's where I went, not to the casino. So I know the healing modalities. I know what heals. Okay, so I went to, the spa that was also not the absolute ideal situation, because that's a public spa, a public swimming pool, public jacuzzi. There are weird guys standing there and looking into the women's locker room. And one guy on bath salts in particular. I was scared. And yeah, so that's not the ideal situation to go into a day spa in a hotel, obviously, but that's like light years better than going into the casino, of course. So you spent a day at the day spa, you go into the jacuzzi, in the swimming pool, or alternatingly, one time in Las Vegas we were at an RV park with Samantha and our former motorhome, and there was a jacuzzi. I forgot now which RV park it was, but one of those in Las Vegas, and the swimming pool was not heated, so for some reason the water heater didn't work. The swimming pool water was ice cold, like a cold plunge. But the jacuzzi next to the swimming pool was working, and I was in that jacuzzi with a bunch of other people. And I politely asked them not to smoke. They were a little bit begrudged about this, but they were polite enough not to smoke. So there was already enough cigarette particles coming off their bodies going into that jacuzzi. But I thought, okay, now I'm doing the Kneipp cure now, Kneipp was some kind of pastor in Germany who knew how to administer cold and hot baths to people, and he was into health. So there were a bunch of those that were into health, including Hildegard von Bingen. So I thought, okay, why don't I go into the cold plunge, from the hot jacuzzi going into the ice cold swimming pool. No one else did it. They looked at me like I'm completely out of my mind. But there are people like Wim Hof that will go into ice water, like literally ice water, with ice floating on the top, like ice. He breaks the ice layer and goes into ice water, and he sits in that for half an hour or something. I mean, the normal, regular, not used to cold water person would go in there. Their heart would stop. they would. The vital signs would slow down or something. There would be shivering, like shaking or something. They would at least get bladder infections. I mean, man, that's really crazy. So, but Wim Hof, he knows how to apply mindfulness meditation exercises on the brain. The body has an infinite potential. I'm not just saying this is the truth. But we have to tap into that potential. So we have infinite mental potential for healing, for empowerment, for quitting substances, for withstanding cold or hot, even for being in very high altitudes where there is less oxygen. We have the potential to live through this and survive it. People have survived unimaginable things already because of mind power that they tapped into. There was a woman once, I heard, Paul told me that story, where her baby or something happened with the baby fell under the car or something, under her car in some way where she couldn't get the baby out. Somehow the baby was trapped under the car. The woman was capable, and that was a petite woman, not a Svetlana like me. Okay? That was a petite woman, like half the weight, like 100-pound woman or something, or 90-pound woman. That's what they said in that report. And she was able to lift her car up to get her baby out. So that's mind power. Okay, so the human body, the human neurology, the human brain, or any brain really, the whale's brains are much more powerful, trust me on that. Much more powerful, more intelligent, more convoluted, all of that. Okay, bigger brain, also in terms of brain body ratio, much bigger brain, more convoluted brain. So there's a lot more going on in whales. But yeah, a human or another ape, I heard stories of other animals who were able to do amazing things to rescue other animals. So the brain is powerful, the brain in general. the body, the entire body is powerful. This is one unit, of course. The brain is not separated from the body, of course. So that's why I doubt that people could ever do a head transplant on anyone, because there is unimaginable neuronal action that goes through the spinal cord, okay, that is connected to all layers of the brain. So the peripheral nervous system, is directly interlinked with the brain, of course. It gets signals from the brain back and forth. It's unimaginably interesting, and it's just so complex and complicated and intertwined and infinitely complex. So that's what it is. And we need to believe in it, we need to one. Thank you. Thank you, Blue God. The Blue God is protecting us, all of us. Okay. And so we need to believe in our healing capacities. No matter how addicted you are, or no matter how you think you are you think you can't do this or that, or you think you are not smart enough, you think you are not powerful enough, you think you are too addicted, you think you can't quit. I see this all the time on the internet with people. When I talk to people, that makes me sad, because your brain and your body is not powerless at all. Okay. And then people misunderstand what power is. They think power over someone else, and before they even saved themselves, before they even found themselves, they want to have power over someone else and stuff like this. That's just another act out. Okay. That is unempowerment. That's why Friedrich Nietzsche talks about this. Okay. The true empowerment is, I have to lean back here onto my cushion for my back. The true empowerment is when you go into your own mind, when you heal yourself, when you go away from addictions and cravings and all of this, and you go into meditation. You become mindful. Okay. That's mindfulness training. There are many different exercises, of course. There are many different types of meditation. Like Transcendental Meditation is a tool for brain relaxation. That's not the inwardness process. It's a tool, it's practicing mindfulness, it's practicing calming the brain, that also stabilizes the vital signs and all of this. You can put yourself into a different mental state, like what Tony Robbins is talking about, that goes in that direction, like Transcendental Meditation. That's not the inwardness process. So all of these other meditations are useful, but that's not the actual inwardness process. The actual inwardness process, where we actually do the healing of the childhood trauma, that's when you sit with nothing to focus on. Okay, there's no Buddha figure that you look at, or in particular. There's no imagination happening or envisioning. I mean, you can look at the Buddha figure, you can look at the blue God, but it's the inwardness process. The inwardness process in terms of, okay, I have the blue God protecting me, at all times, no matter what. And then relaxing into that now moment, sitting with whatever goes on in the brain, not controlling what's going on in the brain. That's a different meditation. That's transcendental meditation. That's like certain meditations where you work with your mental faculties, where you focus on something. It's a concentration type of meditation. What I'm talking about, the main meditation, that the most powerful meditation is this inwardness process. Buddhists have different names for this, of course. Anapana, breathing, vipassana. What else? So, different types of... They have different types of names for that, of course. Like compassion meditation, Maitri, and all of this. But that all goes into that main direction of the main meditation. But the absolute main meditation is the one that Jiddu Krishnamurti is talking about. And that is the one where you don't focus on religion, you don't focus on a figure or some kind of religious symbol or something. I mean, you have your God, you have whatever, the infinite cosmos, it's there for all of us. The blue God, that's the blue God. Okay. I have the blue God there that protects us. Okay. And that gives us enough calmness and peace and confidence to go into that ego dissolution inwardness process. A lot of people think ego dissolution is very scary because they think that's the only thing they have. Their egos, the troublemakers, egos go to war. No, that is not something to cling to hold on to. You can say, ego, I know you mean well, but now is the time for you to take a nap. I am going into the ego dissolution funnel. I'm going through my inwardness meditation process, and I just sit there and I can look at the room, but I'm not going to focus on anything. I'm not going to look at the doorknob and focus on that intently, or whatever it is, so, or whatever, the heater or the paper towel roll. So you just sit there and you can see things if you want to. You can also close your eyes, but you can see things, but don't focus on it. Don't try to interpret something. Don't think about what this doorknob is made out of. That can be another escape mechanism. A lot of people do that. You just look at it and you say, oh, that's a beautiful antique doorknob. Let me just admire this and not think about what happened in this house in the past. So that happens very quickly with my brain. Like, oh, something they lock their children into the closet. And I see all of these things, so, and then I suffer with those entities or beings. Those children, they're probably still alive today, live somewhere else, and they have the trauma from that, and I'm looking at that closet, and I think about them. So my brain does that also as an escape, of course. That's the monkey brain. The monkey brain wants to run away with different things and focus on something, so that way the ego can kind of stay in action in that moment. The ego is very inventive with those kind of things. So we say, ego, you can take a break right now. We don't have to think about what happened in that closet in 1940, pre-World War II or whatever, Yes, these things are all sad, and we talk to the entities, but right now we want to go into that inwardness meditation, and we want to just let the ego take a break and let the brain take a break. It's very, very important to let the brain rest. And when the brain rests, all kinds of stuff will come up, and this wants to talk to you, and that wants to talk to you. Something from the past wants to say something. Let it go through. Don't focus on any one particular thought that comes up or item in the room. Just sit with it and be your own observer. The observer is also the observed. I can't take the observed out of the observer. So that's what Sri Krishnamurti is trying to explain to us. That, and then it seems, he talks to David Bohm about this. They talked about this for 60 years. Like almost every day they talked about this for 60 years. And they were figuring out, is there a space in the mind that is able to remind the observer of not running away with the ego, not letting the ego run away, not focusing on anything in the room or in the brain, the thoughts, but allowing that what comes up and just observing it in a non-judgmental way. I sit there and I don't judge what comes up. I don't say, oh, is that awful, that's terrible. We can do that another time. Right now it's just the moment of complete introspection, letting the stuff run through, as it wants to run through the brain. It's tricky, it's very difficult to do. That's why they were talking about this for so many years, because Judah was able to do it. David Bohm was practicing it. I don't know if David Bohm was able to do it all the way. Judah was able to do it because he was Gautama Buddha reincarnated. He was the embodiment of the infinite cosmos, the infinite in a human form. Okay, so that's what the Buddha was, that's what Judah was. That's what my former dog Kenny was. Okay, I know people think I'm completely batshit crazy, insane. It's total insanity, Don't worry about that. If you find that unbelievable and you or that bothers you, then don't accept what I say, But the meditation is rock solid. Whether you believe what I say or not. The meditation is something that everyone, whatever their worldviews are, that everyone can practice and get into, and that everyone can sit with, and everyone can put to the test. Okay, so you can sit with whatever goes through the brain. Okay. And even if it doesn't, even if we mortal souls, we don't achieve what the Buddha achieved, or what the Buddha has always been doing in every one of his incarnations. That doesn't matter. We don't have to level up in any way ever. Forget this entire terminology. Throw leveling up or measuring up, throw that away. Okay? We don't need that anymore. Throw it away. Throw it in the trash can or in the compost or in the recycling bin. It can be recycled. Shoot it into the sun. The sun will recycle that also. So you are already infinitely precious just the way you are. That's very difficult for a lot of people to really understand. Outwardly they brag, but inside they feel inadequate, inside they feel like a loser, inside they feel like they are weak, and so they feel unempowered. People told me, I talk to people about this, I also observe it in people, of course, and that's sad. And then out of that feeling of unempowerment, they do outwardly things. They look in the mirror. Women want to have an adjustment done to their faces. There was this one, amazing, I'm not going to mention names here. She's a celebrity. And a very intelligent woman from, I don't know, the Eastern Bloc countries, and but she doesn't understand how powerful she actually is and how intelligent she is. That's sad. She also didn't understand how stunningly beautiful she was before she went under the knife. Stunningly beautiful. I told her that. She just doesn't even want to hear what I said. She completely dismisses my comments, would never even comment back, because she disagrees with me on that. She thinks she needs to forcefully cut things off her face or body or whatever, and then she has to do all kinds of things to level up. Level up to what? To whom? To a neurotic society? Oh, man. Brother, sister, man. Really not cool at all. And then she becomes an influencer. Oh my gosh. And then that entire conundrum of neurosis becomes an influencer on other people, and they think that shit's real. We gotta level up, all of us, We all have to do the same thing. We have to go under the knife, and we have to deny who we are really. How horrifically sad. And that's what Sri Krishnamurti is talking about when he says the entire society. Like, you look at any kind of office, institution, and people and influencer and celebrity. The entire society is against the individual, wholesome person, the baby coming into the world who is wholesome, precious, any baby, Doberman baby. And then what do? They want to level up the Doberman. A dog never agreed to that. And they cut the tail off, they cut the ears off. They are, in the same sense, there are women who have surgery done on their children. When they do this to dogs and children, that's where it becomes, that's psychopathic, okay? That is schizophrenic, criminally insane. When they do it to themselves, it's just unimaginably sad and neurotic. But if they do it to someone else and they didn't even give their consent to it, that's criminally insane. And all of this is just infinitely sad, and I have to point this out to the world. I'm not talking about the influencer girl. She only did that to herself. She didn't even do that much surgery, so I haven't watched her recent videos, so I don't know what she's all done, had been nip-tucking on herself since I watched her her videos the last time, like 2 years ago or something. So, but I'm not interested. So, she's intelligent and she wants to. She's trying to empower women, and help them to get up on their own 2 feet financially. But the whole thing is just. This is not true empowerment. Okay, that's not meeting it at the very root, at the very base. That's more ego. That's a total misunderstanding. The whole terminology leveling up is coming from the ego. That has nothing to do with empowerment. Okay? It's a total misunderstanding, and it's infinitely sad. Total empowerment is if you say, F you society, okay? I have had it up to here, okay? I'm done with it. Yeah. I'm not interested. Doing all the rituals in my head. So that's what you have to do. You have to say, I am so finished with society. I am so completely fed up with society and society's standards that I'm just gonna go into meditation and going into my own mind. Maybe I'll do some rituals here and there, but because I'm not the Buddha, but at least, it's still, I'm still doing this. This is my own meditation, my own life. I'm not reaching for something on the outside, okay? I'm not looking up other people. I'm not using measurement, okay? I don't measure myself. I don't try to be like someone else. Other people are not my role models. Okay. That's the inwardness process, that's the empowerment process. Men do it really massively too. Okay. I see that. They also turn to influencer guys, and they tell you how much weight you're supposed to lift in order to feel like a man and all of that. So they tell you how to level up, to become a gentleman, to wear suits, and then you're someone. No, no, no. Those are outward things, They're nice to, it's good to exercise. It's good for men to do some weightlifting. It's healthy. It's good for them to drink energy drinks and raw juices and all of that. It's all good. But those are outward. Just remember, they're outward modalities, and then the ego thinks, if I just do that enough, then I can be like him or whatever. And that's not empowerment. Okay, it's not empowerment to go on to watch a video like from Jeremy Fragrance and say, if I just get enough money to buy Creed Aventus or whatever, or whatever these names are for these perfumes, then I will be someone, and the chicks will come and smell on me and go home in my bed and all of that. No, these are outward things, okay? The perfume companies make a lot of money on you with that. That's all that's happening. Or buying a suit by whatever, Armani or whatever. And then the girls, no, these are outward things. Be yourself. Don't even go into a frickin' club. Don't do it. That's all measurement and in total insanity that's going on in a club. It's total insanity. I want nothing to do with this. That people would kill me if I go into a club. I already know. They go, what the fuck? I want nothing to do with that, man. So, no, I'm glad I'm at home. I'm working on myself. I really am. I have OCD and I have OCD rituals. I have anxieties. I have fear, but I'm working on it. I do the inwardness process in increments. I can't do it all at once, but incrementally I'm getting into it. I want to feel all of this, and I want to heal it. Feeling is healing. Okay? It rhymes. Feeling is healing. It's very important to remember this. Not running away from the stuff. You sit with it, you go into your own mind, stuff comes up, don't evaluate it, don't try to suppress it, don't try to figure it out. It just is there, let it run through. I look at my clothes, I look at the door. I'm not going to give it a label. I just look at something because I see it with my eyes. But I'm not thinking about it. So I see it and I love it and I send it love. Infinite love, sunbeams of love. I'm not trying to change the door or fix something or think about it. So that's this total meditation process that you're just talking about. That's when the brain really calms down. When you sit with it, your brain, if someone who is new to meditation goes into this, there will be all kinds of things going through your mind. Okay, all kinds of monkey brain. What if I say this and they will think that, and what if I wear this tomorrow for my presentation and then they will laugh about me. All kinds of things that go through people's brains at all times, right? At all times. Or what is that woman going to think about me, and what if she rejects me? These are the things that go through people's minds, men's brains, okay? So I see all of that. For men, it's particularly intense. This anxiety is particularly intense. That's why there are men's rights groups now that don't even need to exist. Total bullshit. Complete BS. If they don't want to give their wives, I understand I understand. First of all, I want to get that off the table. Affirmative action doesn't work. Me as a woman and feminist, not militant but feminist woman, I tell you, affirmative action is BS. Okay, absolutely spot on. Okay. But you don't have to go into a man's rights organization and complain all day long about the legal system. If you don't like it, get into office. Do something about it. Write letters. Write petition letters to Governor Newsom and other governors and other legislators and whatever, CEOs, people in offices. Do something about it. Don't sit there complaining with other guys. Okay? That's not going to change the world, make things better. That's unempowerment. That's an echo chamber of unempowerment. That's what that is. Don't do that, okay? That's just the ego again. Like, now I belong to MacTow. No, it's not empowerment. Okay, that's just, you just write yourselves. You write yourselves, and you also edge each other on to write yourselves, to drive each other further and further into women hating. I'm making video right now. That's not making the world a better place. Okay, that just creates another front. It's just that's another war front. That's not making the world better. There are women that do the same thing. They're militant women. It's total BS, is that. Some of them are even straight, and this isn't going anywhere. Man, we need each other, of course. First of all, let's admit to that. So we have different brains. We can put these brains together in a partnership, whatever type of partnership that is. That could be a friendship partnership like Paul and me. We put our brains together, we function better. Okay. I clean the house, he doesn't know how to do it. So I keep things spotless and clean. He cooks me stuff, I'm too lazy for that. So I come up with some recipes and I give remote instructions into the kitchen. He is good with technology, I am good with philosophy, psychology in terms of philosophy, maybe not street smart psychology as he has. experienced in his life the hard way, and then he's blaming me, saying, you don't know how to figure people out. Yeah, I am in the process of figuring people out now. Okay, so I'm learning. So that may still not be street smartness, but because I don't want only street smart intelligence where let me figure out how I can outsmart someone else. I don't want to outsmart anyone else. No, I don't want to have power over anyone. I don't want to out-trick anyone. That's not the way to move forward with things. I want to learn about other people's minds so that we can help each other, so that I can understand where you are at, so that I can say, oh, I see where you're coming from, now I can share something with you that maybe you can use that might be working for you in that particular situation. Not everyone can just jump into a complete deep inwardness meditation and think that there will be unimaginable things coming out right up front. No, that takes a long time. That's a lifestyle. Okay? Do it every day for an hour or two. Do it every day. Sit on the couch and let things go through your mind every single day. Don't go on the internet for that time. Don't think about someone in terms of, I have to figure that out. You can think about something, but let it sink its way through you. Let the thought go through your mind without evaluating or judging it or trying to figure it out. That's what your brain also does when you're sleeping, That's why you have all kinds of weird jumbled up associations that are going on in your dream phases, because your brain is not focusing or zooming in on any particular thing in terms of trying to figure this out or that out. Your brain is just allowing it to flow through. Sometimes there are some inventions that can happen in that mental state, in a dream or in a meditation. Some inventions and some amazing insights can happen in the moment when you are not in a state of resistance. Okay. People take drugs like hallucinogenic drugs for that, in order to get rid of the resistance, but the resistance is there for a reason. The ego is there for a reason, of course. The ego wants to protect you, of course, and the discrimination ribbon, as I talked about this before, that's there, and that's a brain formation that is there for a reason, to filter out things, because if it didn't, we would be completely overwhelmed with the energies that are going on in and around us. Okay, so there's all kinds of stuff happening, all kinds of energies. This rock radiates out an energy, okay, a healing energy. This rock is ancient. This rock comes from the deepest grounds of the ocean, of the Pacific Ocean. At some point gets stranded, washed on shore, for Nicola to come and pick it up. Yes, that's true. So, everything is... I already get flooded. My brain is already wide open when I go into a store. That's the Asperger's brain. When we go into a store, we perceive more than other people, most other people. Okay. So most other people, they go into a store and they want to be entertained, and the more entertainment, the better. Right? For me, it's like I get flooded with this stuff. Too much entertainment, and I'm out the door. I can't tolerate that. It's just way too much. So on the internet, it is just barely tolerable, but in person, if I go somewhere, I go to a club or party, too much. Okay, I can't process all of that, all of these entities and energies and so on. So I like peace and quiet. I like retirement forever. Retirement forever. That is the retirement. Peace is the way to go through life for me. Always retirement. Always peace. So, and then my brain can gradually relax. My brain couldn't relax overseas with my German family. Was not possible. Too much drama all the time. My mother's energy was absolutely unacceptable. Total troll energy, constantly, because she had no idea how to go into that inwardness process. No, her ego was hyperactive. Her ego was always lashing out. Everything was just dumped into me like a trash dumpster. Everything was dumped on me. Everything. And then with Asperger's, that's hardcore. So, no, I had to figure out how to get the heck away from there and to find a way to. Paul has lots of resistance, but at least he leaves me alone when I'm in my room. He often comes to the door. What are you doing? Making a video? Who are you talking to? Are you on the internet? Are you? Who's that? Is that Philip? Who's that? I was like, my gosh, yes. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not that. This is not the ideal monastery situation. Let's put it that way. But it's light years better than living with Freddy Krueger or my mother or my brother or my dad or anyone who is batshit neurotic. So we're all quite on the neurotic side, but at least I figured out some kind of enclave where I can take my rock into my hand and do a meditation and calm my brain down. And I recommend to other people to do this every day for 1 hour. Okay. And what I wanted to say in regards to the smoking addiction that some people have, my brother included. Okay, I try to help my brother. He doesn't listen to any advice, but for anyone who watches my videos, try it at least. Try a lung inhalator. That could be any kind of steam inhalator, which that's what I used to quit smoking at 25. I had a bronchitis steam inhalator. I had a bronchitis that was very severe. And I also caught my brother's chicken pox. That was a very intense phase there. And I thought, okay, I had this insight. With this steam inhalator, I can quit smoking, for sure. Norbert said, that's like smoking. Yeah, it's the substitute, This is the perfect substitute. And that's what I did. I used this, and my cravings went away. I didn't even need to put nicotine liquids into it. I only put whatever that came with it, was that steam inhalator for bronchitis that came with a little container of, I don't know, like some kind of menthol cream, that where I put just a little piece, like the tip of the thumb of the menthol cream into the base of that steam inhalator, and then you pour boiling water in it, and you put the top on top. You screw that on, and then it has a mouthpiece that is bigger than a cigar, like, mouthpiece that comes out. It also had other attachments on it that you can put onto the nose or some, but I just used that mouthpiece that had the pump that sticks into it, that would blow bubbles into it so that the steam would come up into that mouthpiece, and you can breathe that in. Okay, and that was it for me. That was the total substitute for the glowing rods that I call them. And yeah, and you just throw the package away, no matter how full it is. Throw that into the trash. That's a symbolic act. Okay, and you say, I'm done with it for good. I don't need it anymore. I mean, you have to really get into that mental state. Okay, I don't want it anymore. I don't need it anymore. It's a mental state. Your body will thank you for that. Trust me, Danny, and all of you, trust me, really. Your body will thank you for that. Whoever you are out there, all of you cutesy pootsies, don't do that to your bodies. Don't inhale smoke into your precious lungs. You should study the lungs. You should study what's happening in your lungs. You study that in depth. Get into it. Get into biology, get into molecular biology, and study what's happening inside of a lung. You will have more appreciation for those unimaginable tree-like organs. Okay. And we need every tree. There's a reason why trees look like the inside of lungs. Okay. There's a direct connection between trees and lungs of mammals. There's a psychic connection. Okay. Trees breathe out what our lungs breathe in. We need the trees. For any logger out there, we need every tree standing. Okay. And don't breathe smoke into your lungs, no matter what kind of smoke it is. Don't do it. Don't inhale smoke. It's not good for you, and particularly not nicotine-based smoke. Use a steam inhalator. You can also use a vape inhalator, any kind of vape that you want to get, okay? If you think you need to phase that out gradually, you can do that too, but you don't need it, I recommend to people just quit the nicotine cold turkey. There are plants out there that will substitute that in a healthy way. Okay, I have an intuition. I was sitting here in meditation earlier, before I made the video, and I was thinking about Danny and the other guys, and I was thinking, so how can I help you? And I would just let my brain wander into it. And then I was thinking about ivy. The ivy shrub comes to mind, That's a climbing plant. that grows on cemeteries and other places, that grows up on walls, that clings to walls. Ivy, different types of ivy. And I also thought about the English laurel. We have one in the garden out there. Beautiful shrub. Those are evergreen shrubs and climbing plants. And my intuition is, I haven't researched this yet. This is just an intuition. We can research that on Google. Check it out. Put it into Google search. I will do it in a moment. Ivy, the healing modalities of ivy and the healing modalities of English laurel. Look it up. Okay, read everything you can find, not just from Dr. Oz or whatever, like the pharmaceutical commercial. No, don't. You gotta read it all. Read the hippie articles as much as the other articles. Read the medical articles. Read the research articles, peer-reviewed research articles. Read any article from any herbalist or whoever these people are that write about it. Okay, read it all. And so my intuition, very strong intuition I have, that if we make tea with ivy leaves or stems and English laurel leaves and stems. English laurel has this amygdaline in it, which is toxic if you take that in too high amounts. So, but I already looked up English laurel. They said 1 leaf for tea, for 1 large tea dispenser, like, I don't know, half a gallon or whatever of boiling water on it, and you put that into your thermos can there, and then you drink that throughout the day. Only 1 leaf of English laurel I would recommend, to be on the safe side. Right? You don't want to take too much of that amygdaline. That's an acid, some kind of blue acid. So there's another name for it, but I researched ivy also before, and it said that's totally safe. I think you can take in any amount of drink ivy tea. I think it's safe, but I don't know. There are also some alkaloids in it. I wouldn't overdo it. Of course, ivy also has berries sometimes in the summer. I have tasted one. They're extremely bitter, so I don't know if the berries are safe to eat. So sometimes there's an accumulated amount of alkaloids in berries, so I would be careful about that. But if you use like 2 leaves of ivy and 1 leaf of English laurel, that would be safe. You can also combine that, of course, and you can drink the tea of that every day, and my intuition is it will take the cravings for cigarettes away completely. And also breathe in the steam from that. And you can make any kind of steam pot, like if you have, you can just pour it into a ceramic cup, and you put a towel over your head and you lean over that cup with ivy in it and boiling water. You have the towel over to prevent the steam from escaping. Then you can do a facial steam bath with that. So, and breathe that in very deeply, and that will clean out your lungs. So that will help. Anyone can do this, but a steam inhalator with a mouthpiece, that's very, very, very powerful to do that, or any kind of vape, So that's my recommendation. But like I said many times, just one modality is probably not enough for this process of weaning yourself off. You have to also really want it. You have to say, I'm done with it, I don't want it anymore, and I don't need it anymore. I'm going the holistic route. Okay. And you have to go into meditation. You have to do grounding outside every day for at least 10 minutes. Kneel down in your garden and touch the ground with your bare hands or bare feet if it's warm enough. Right now it's not warm enough to put my feet out on the ground, but I kneel down and I put my hands like this on the grass for about 10 minutes. I'm there in that doggy position. I wonder if the neighbors already saw me there. Like, what the heck? So, and that's really feels really good, feels really refreshing. It grounds you, and meditation is very important. Sleeping for 12 hours if you can. Sleeping as long as you can every night. Also take a nap during the day. So those are very important healing modalities. Petting an animal every day. Saying something nice into the ear of the animal. I love you, you sweet thing. Say that every day. Make artwork out of packaging materials. Everyone can do it, These are modalities that everyone can do. And if you want it, you can do it. Okay? So, take care.